Hello and welcome. Still on presentation. In this lesson, we are going to look at presentation best practices. And this is not just limited or restricted to whether you are using Microsoft PowerPoint or you are using Google Slides or you are using Canva. These tips encompasses what you should guide against or what you should do that will eventually give you the best of outcomes when you are creating your slides. All right, so the first thing you need to do is, what is the goal? What are your objectives? Just like the teachers would ask. You know, in preparing your lesson plan, your objective has to be clear, has to be smart. Okay? You should, okay, these slides I'm creating, is it for a project? Is it for a research presentation? Is it for advertisement? Is it for an online course creation? You should have that spelled out, your goals, all right? And then you want to identify the problems, which, like I said, more or less is talking about your objective, which has to be specific, it has to be measurable. At the end of this course, you should be able to discuss, describe, count, demonstrate, you know. So it has to be very clear. You write it down clearly in your Google Doc, all right? And then you also want to be able to provide solutions, all right? You have your objective, you have your learning outcome, all right, which has to directly relate to your objective. The outcome should align with your objectives. And these are the things that you should have in front of your mind when you are creating your slides, all right? And then if, for instance, you are going to be creating slides presentation, you are going to be making a presentation about a financial report. So you are the bursar for your school, you are the financial secretary for your association, and you want to make a presentation to other members of the association in an online meeting. So these are things that you do. You prepare your charts, you put your charts on your slide, you put your tables on your slide, and you are good to go. And if you are, planning a challenge, a sporting activity that you want people to register for, you would know the kind of slides that you create, which needs to have, elements like this: the images, the heading, and then icons to represent so many other things. So all these things you should have planned them way ahead of the time you are sitting down to create your slides. That is why the other productivity tools, Microsoft Excel, lessons came, and then we have the Google Doc lessons, so that you will be able to generate all the information you need before you sit down to create your slides, because it is this information that will stand as the content for your slide. And then you must know your audience. I'm creating this for teachers, so that is why I'm using what I am using and how I am using it. All right. If you are creating slides for nursery students, for instance, or nursery pupils, you know that you have to play with a whole lot of colors to make meaning out of your slides so that you can get the best out of it. If you are creating slides for university undergraduates, you know how to maneuver your ways so that they get the best out of your presentation. And then, of course, you have to know your audience, like I said. Who will be listening to you? Who will be watching your slides? Who will be reading your slides? What is important to them? What kind of environment are they? Are they in a place where if there is no internet, for instance, you can create slides, yes, but you will not be thinking about presenting the slide online. You'll be thinking about taking your slides, to a physical location and then projecting your slide physically, and then speak to your slide physically. Unlike what I am doing here, that I am speaking to you virtually, sharing the same slide that you will project physically if the online presentation is not practicable. And then you need to create an outline. You cannot just create slides without having a clear understanding of what you want to create. And for teachers, it is even easier. You have your lesson plan for the subject that you teach. So it is this lesson plan that you are going to use to format, to create an outline for your course. All right. And when you have your outline, you'll be able to decide, which of the templates are you going to need? Which of the templates will be useful for you for a particular content? If you are going to need a table and you have a template that has a table, beautiful. If you are going to need a list and you have a template that has a list, then you can use it. So all these things would guide you as to how you go about creating your slides. And as you can see, you have your outline spelled out. For you as teachers, you have your lesson topics, all right, and then the content. For undergraduates, you have, if you use the modular format, you have module 1. Under module 1, you will have unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. You can use section 1, section 2, section 3, and on. Whatever method you adapt, please let your outline be very clear, because that is how you are going to, it is your outline that you will follow in creating your slides. When you already sorted out those preliminaries, then you want to decide on, which visuals are you going to use to take the lesson into the minds of your readers, your listeners. All right, because it is bad practice to dump texts on slides. All right, and we are still coming to that. So you decide which visual, and then we are still going to discuss where to get very quality images of different types, through Canva, through Google Docs. And these are images that you can use for free. They do not have any copyright infringements. You can use their stock images that you can use for free, and which I have been using in all my presentations during this course. So for images, you can, on your slides, you can use pictures, you can use infographics, you can use graph and charts, you can use icons. All right, you can use icons when you're talking about flight or aeroplane. You can use this icon. When you're talking about hand washing or clapping, you can use the icon. When you're talking about something is not diving or is regressing, is not advancing, you can use. There are so many other icons that you can use, and you have access to them online. You can insert video. You can pick on any color theme that you want. Color theme is that, like educate, for instance. I'm a blue person, so in many of my slides you will always see blue. All right, so depending on your own color code, the color code for your own organization or for your own person, something to represent your brand, and you need to be consistent about it. And of course, your font, you have to choose your font carefully. And then in choosing templates, if for instance there's you have you need to create a list. This is a beautiful list for templates. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can change every single thing that is here to match your content. You can change everything. That is why we call them templates. All right, this is another template roadmap. You start from here, all right, you pass through here, through here, through here until you arrive at your destination. This is an infographics that is describing how you are going to maneuver. And I dropped a text on the platform telling you about how you are going to achieve the final goal for this course, that is for you to have a subject create a subject online and then embed it in a website that you are going to create. So this is how to describe such timeline using infographics. So you have a whole lot of this thing online that you can access and modify. For slides creation, please, less is more in terms of text. You don't want to convert your slide to another chalkboard or to another textbook. People are bored with textbook, and you now dump text on a slide for them, they will lose interest immediately. So less is more. If you do something like this, oh God, this is the worst thing that you can do in terms of creating slides for presentation. All right, you just copy text. I know some people still do it, but this is just awful. You just copy text from your notes and then dump it on the slide. And you see, it gives your audience two problems. Number one, they are trying to listen to you. Number two, they are trying to read what is on the slide. So their attention is divided. And within a short while, they lose interest in whatever it is you're saying. All right, so you don't want to go through this route at all. And as a guide, you want to use the rule of 5, 5, 5. And what is this rule? Some people say the rule of 6. Some people say the rule of 7. Essentially, you should not have more than 5 or 6 or 7 words maximum on a line. All right, on a line. And then you shouldn't have more than 5 or 6 or 7 lines on a slide. And if you're going to use text on a slide, you shouldn't have more than 5 text-heavy slides in a presentation. In actual fact, I would discourage this completely. All right, don't use text-heavy slides. Why? Less is more when it comes to use of text on presentation. And then your fonts. The font is the type of lettering that you choose for your slides. All right, you need to use readable fonts that people can easily read. All right, if you look at this, you can read all this, right? Although this is not so clear because we have used a color that is really not sharp. This is sharp, this is sharp, this is sharp. However, if I have to pick from these 4, I'll tell you this is the most readable of all the texts. And once again, please ensure readable fonts. You don't want to you will have access to so many kind of fonts on Microsoft PowerPoint and on Google Slide and all the other. Even on Canva, you have a whole lot of fonts that you can choose from. So Lato Black is fine. The Lato group is beautiful. Sego group is beautiful. Arial group is beautiful. All right, and then for slides, you cannot go wrong choosing any of these 3 font family, depending on whether you are writing the heading or subheading or the body of the text proper. All right, and then you want to avoid this kind of fonts totally. Okay, so then you have to be mindful of how you use color. It is going to tempt you to pick different kinds, because all these tools, the Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slide, and Canva, they have different kinds of colors that you can choose from, but you have to be very, very careful. For instance, if you look at this, look at the text and the background color. You don't want to do this. This is just awful. It hurts the eyes to try to read what is here. Okay, so it's thumbs down for all this, but look at this one. All right, look at the background, look at the text color. It is distinct. The contrast is distinct. All right, so this is how you want the relationship between background color and the text color to be. Black on white, white on black, black on blue. I mean, not black on blue, white on blue, blue on white, remains. You cannot never go wrong with this kind of combination, or with this kind of combination. All right. And then your design, please design for widescreen. Widescreen, when I say widescreen, this slide is widescreen, and then it can be viewed on any device, whether you are viewing it from your phone, from your tablet, from your desktop, from your laptop. It is going to remain beautiful and kind to the eyes. And you have to be consistent with style. If you notice this presentation and the slides, you will see that there is some element of consistency, 90% consistency. All right, you don't jump from black background color to white background color to blue background color to green background color. That is not good for your brand. So you have to consistent. That's what we call branding. Or you want to choose a color code, for your slides. If you're going to be using blue, black, and white, make it blue, black, and white all through the slides, depending on what the content is. All right, and then you would have access to so many colors. And in picking, well, maybe if we get there, I will show you how to actually use eyedropper tool to pick colors out of an image to make a cohesive color scheme. All right, like this image you are seeing, you can use an eyedropper tool. It is a Microsoft PowerPoint, all right, to pick whatever color you need and then use it on your slide. Animation. It is also very tempting. We'll talk about it when we focus on one of the tools. All right, animation. Less is more. Just like in the use of text on slide, less is more. That is animation. 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 That is using 6 different animation types just on one slide. You don't want to do that. That is way too many. Okay, so as you can see, this is still okay. Just 2 kinds of animation on your slide and you are good to go. Unlike the previous one, that is just way out of consistency. And here you need to be you may consider templates. Templates are done for you slide that has color theme, that has font picked for you, that has designs picked for you. All right, so if for a beginner, I would recommend you use templates. If you're not very good at creating slides and style and designing your own format, then you can ditch templates and create your slide using the design that you have in your own mind, and it will still come out well. In Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva, you would have loads of templates to consider, and then you want to pick the one that aligns with the kind of presentation you want to make. All right, these are templates that you can adapt for your own presentation. All right, beautiful things. So rather than creating this, you just change the values, change the text, change the heading, and you make it your own. And as much as possible, when you are presenting, whether online or offline, do not read from the slide. That is why we said in creating your slide, less is more when you talk about putting text on your slides. And then you also want to use bullet points, such that what you have on the slide are just the core ideas of what you are going to be talking about. Okay, so instead of your audience trying to read what is on the slide, they will listen to you because there's nothing on the slide to even read aside from the key topics. All right, and end with action points. Whatever it is you want your listeners to do, you want to ensure that your slides ends with them. Just for teachers, it is usually assignments. So you want to give them a take-home assignment at the end of the presentation. And in creating your slides, please focus on visual hierarchy. What do I mean? Whatever it is I put on top here is the most important. All right, this is the key topic, this is the subtopic. All right, and then whatever is down here is not as important as what is here. As you can see, even the font size, this is the biggest, this is bigger, and these are much smaller. All right, that is hierarchy. In creating slides, ensure that you follow a visual hierarchy so that when people see your slide, the first thing that will come to their mind is, okay, that is the topic that this man is going to be talking about. Review your presentation, practice the skills, create your own presentation, and share your presentation with us when the time comes. I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much.